Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. Today it is finally time to upgrade our shelf. I'm going to be adding another layer on the top so we can fit more stuff on there, and we're going to be moving over. Oh, there we go. I was going to say my 4090 just had a job on salad. It looks like it still does now. I need to get these two out of this area and onto the rack. Now there's a few other things we're going to be doing. I'm going to be running two 15 amp breakers behind the shelf right here, or two 15 amp circuits, so I can stop doing what I'm doing over here with a bunch of power supplies or power strips linked together. Now that is definitely not preferred, to link a bunch of power strips together, but I'm only running like 150 watts through them. I just have an absolute ton of devices that use very little power each. So I'm going to be running one breaker to 4 circuits or sockets, and then one breaker to 4 sockets. So I'll have 8 sockets over here, a total of 30 amps at 120 volts. Now people might be wondering, why am I doing 120 volt instead of 240 volts? Well, the answer to that question is I want to be able to use these GoV smart meters, especially for AI and salad and stuff, where the power usage is not consistent. These little smart meters are super nice to be able to actually monitor profitability, and unfortunately they don't make them for 240 volts. So I've got 4 more right here. Let's talk about the plan real quick. I'm going to be putting 2 2x4s, not this orientation but this orientation, across here, and I'm going to measure it out. So basically all of these D-pin devices are, I got to determine if I want to move those onto the top or have those stay where they are and put the salad rigs on top of that. I think I'm going to put the salad rigs directly on this and move all those devices up. And we should be able to fit maybe 4 of these salad rigs up there. And then everything will be HDMI wired into my switch right here so that I can control all of them. And then for the USB, I've got a dongle that goes to both this keyboard and the mouse, and I'm just going to manually move that from rig to rig, because I looked at a USB KVM online and they're like 150 bucks, and that's certainly not worth it. So let's go ahead and start cutting up some wood and getting that shelf made. One other thing I want to do is, it's been real hot here, and my AC ran for like a total of 70 hours last week. I noticed that I have a couple gaps in my little airtight thing right here, and have the potential to be sucking air out of here from my exhaust fan, which that would be AC air from my central duct right here. So I am going to take hot glue and run a bead along this, because it's not sticking to this dirty steel beam right here. It keeps coming off, as you can see. So I'm going to run a bead of hot glue. I did that on this side, and it's worked perfectly. It's still totally sealed and airtight. So we'll do that first real quick actually, and then we'll move on to the shelf. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. All right, I got the wireless hot glue gun. I got this thing out of the blue, and honestly I use it all the time. I will have this link down below if anyone is interested. Let's see, it is giving me a red flashing error, which surely doesn't mean it's out of battery. Well, I guess we'll do this last, and I'll charge this thing up. Hopefully it's not broken after I was just repping it. All right, so there's a few things over here that I need to check. The first one being, how long do I need to cut these boards? It looks like a little under 47 inches. I'm gonna check on this backside too. Yeah, I think I should be fine cutting them to 47 inches, and I can obviously splay these out a little bit if I need to. And then the second thing is, how much room do I have right here? About 18 inches to the ceiling, and one of these CPU rigs is less than 7 inches. So, and these are the tallest thing on here, 8 inches. So with both stacks of devices, we should be at about 15 inches. plus 1.5 inches is 16.5 for the 2x4, 18 to the ceiling. So it is going to be a pretty tight fit. I'm not going to be able to have a lot of wiggle room there, but that's okay. I can always leave these on the bottom shelf if I need to, but I think what I'm going to do is basically just maybe move one of these salad rigs onto this shelf and place the board basically directly over it, and we should be okay with that. So let's cut these boards into 47 inches. Been a while since I whipped out the saw, and I may be able to get 2 boards out of 1. I can. Nice. I didn't even plan on that. I'll cut this first one, then we can do the second one. No battery. See how good we did on the dot. So we'll just use that one as a reference here for our other one. All right, so the thing that's gonna make this a little bit annoying is I said I wanted to put a salad rig up there to kind of get a height reference. Well, once you stop a job, sometimes it can take over 24 hours to find another one. So I'm definitely not gonna use the 4090. This one doesn't have a job right now, so I think that's the one that I'm going to stick up here to get a kind of idea of how high it needs to be. I'm debating if I just measure it instead. I'm actually going to just use this. Since this is 8 inches tall and I have 18 inches total, I can just have 2 shelves of 8 inches and then the extra 1.5 for the 2x4, and I should still be a 1/2 inch below the ceiling. So I'll use that, and I can also set the board on that, which will be handy as well. Now the other thing that's annoying about doing all this, especially wiring these circuit breakers and everything, is I'm gonna have to cut all my power to put the new breakers in, and that of course means I lose all 4 of my salad jobs. So I might get everything wired just to the point of where I can plug it in and then wait for a day when I lose at least 2 of the 4 jobs. But yet to figure that out yet. Right now, let's just go ahead and get the shelf installed and all the wiring done up until putting it into the panel. I'm gonna be using structural deck screws. This stuff's gonna be relatively lightweight, but hey, might as well overdo it. I'm gonna go ahead and start a screw up here. This is not a great spot to be working as a right-hander. Gonna need a hammer to get that in there. So it looks like my little aether edge is slightly over the 8-inch mark, but that right there should be okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap in this side, and then we'll get it level and put in the other side. Okay, take a look at this. We got like a millimeter of space to be able to move this thing in and out, even though this is gonna be going up top most likely. But okay, that's good. We'll get it level and get this side in. Guess I can do it with the left hand, it's a little easier. Okay. You know what? I just realized I can probably get rid of that top bar now that I've got this other one. That one's not doing anything besides preventing tip and just kind of holding the top steady, but that's what those boards are gonna do. So I can probably get rid of that one, though we'll probably do that last. It is very level. I just need to match the other one up with it. I'm gonna use my aether edge as a prop and do that backside first. I'll use this to make sure it's level across the 2 boards. All right. Either this shelf right here is unlevel, or I screwed that one in wrong, because this is putting me like a 1/2 inch above the aether edge on this side, but oh well, I'm just gonna do it there. Let's go ahead and get 2 screws started here. Okay, that turned out pretty good. See, I got a lot bigger gap on this side, but that's all right. This doesn't need to be perfect. I could have probably brought that down a little bit, but oh well. Now let's see what I've got for our shelf material for this top shelf. So this is just a very thin piece of, I don't even know what you would call this. I don't think it's plywood, but perfect size. That was about $16. And then all of my electrical supplies for a total of 8 outlets, 2 breakers. I already had the Romex, which is up there. This plus that was only 60 bucks. So not bad for 2 more outlets and a whole nother shelf of space. Let's get this thing cut to size. All right, so this needs to be 16.5 wide and a little bit under 47 long. So let's get those initial settings marked out. Sweet, it's just barely too long. It's like 48 inches exactly. It's too hot out here. I started marking it incorrectly. It's about 87 degrees right now, 70% humidity. Close enough. All right, let's see if it fits. Oh, it's a bit tight. I think it's gonna work. Come on. One thing I didn't do is calculate in the height of this thing. Hopefully we should be okay still. Fits like a glove. Now I'm gonna take that board off, put a couple screws in, short screws, and then start moving devices up there. Sorry guys, there's only so many shots I can get of this top shelf over here. I'm just putting in these tiny little drywall screws, probably 3 on each side. My drill's almost too big here. Just to hold this down. I did also drop down that backboard because it was way out of line with the others. I think the level was lying to me. All right, just like that, our shelf is complete. I probably am gonna put 2 more in the front here just to fix this little lip up, but that's just for cosmetic sake. Let's quickly check, do we have at least 7.5 inches here? Ooh, it's close. A little under 8. So I don't even think the 1/8 edge will fit up here. Yeah, it won't. So it's okay. We may just have to keep the 1/8 edge down here. There we go. All right, the new top shelf. Let's go ahead and turn our lights on. Looks pretty good. All right, let's start transitioning some stuff onto it. It stinks I can't put the 1/8 edge up there because I wanted to put all the D-pin up there. Okay, quick intermission here. My hot glue gun's charged now so we can get this stuff all working. It is not broken, so that's good. Basically just running a bead and pinching the tape behind it so I've got a full continuous seal here. The things you got to do because duct tape is not as sticky as it used to be. All right, that should hold much better now. Look how freaking hot it is in here. It's dripping. Aha, I got the 1/8 edge up there. I just had to basically cram it in the middle there. You can see it's sagging a little bit, but that's all right. Nice, so I'm gonna go ahead and move all of my D-pin stuff up in a quick time lapse. One cool thing I've got over here is this little like USBC hub where these things pull out. So you only need the exact length that you need. and then they retract in. Also got 4 more ports there and 4 power strips on the back. Hopefully this will make it a little tidier up there with a lot less cables. All right guys, well as you can tell, it's been a hot one. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. I'll quickly show you what the top shelf looks like. I've got all the devices moved up there, and then next video, we'll set up our outlets back there and get everything else wired. We'll move all the AI rigs onto here. I'm gonna do that when there's a good time when I don't have jobs. So let's take a quick look up here. Boom, so middle shelf is now empty. I've got a brand new switch up here to power or to give Ethernet to all my crypto AI rigs when I put them up there. And that little, this thing ended up saving a ton of cables. Look at all the cables and power strips I was able to remove using that. This is all stuff that was used, and now it's using that, and that thing is pretty dang high quality. I think it's like $130 and it can run like 15 amps, 120 volt through it, and it'd be totally fine. So it's easily enough to power all these devices. So that's all looking good. Also moved this to right here. When it was on the top shelf, you couldn't really see it. This thing's kind of cool because it shows exactly what the temperature is right here compared to outside. And right now, since I've got my garage open, they match basically identical. But okay, next video, we will be wiring some power over here.